Good evening. As Commissioner Jim Gordon so eloquently put it at the end of Christopher Nolan's 2008 summer blockbuster The Dark Knight, he's not the hero we deserve but the one we need. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. He's not only one of my favorite personal childhood heroes, but he's one of the greatest pop culture icons of all time. Batman has a deep, rich history and expansive universe that contains other famous pop culture characters that includes his trusty sidekick Robin, his allies Commissioner Gordon and Alfred, along with several yet interesting villains such as the Joker. Batman and his symbol can be seen everywhere, from movies to books to television and t-shirts. In the following speech, I'll be giving you an informative look at the history of the creation of Batman, a deep look at who the character is along with some of his supporting characters, and the impact he has made on the entertainment mediums, most specifically in the film genre. I would first like to start out by giving you some history on the creation of Batman. In 1939, Batman was created by Bob Kane after the recent success of Superman at Action Comics, which would later be called DC Comics. The first drawing of Batman differed greatly from the way he's portrayed today. He looked very similar to Superman by having the Man of Steel's famous red tights. He had no cowl, but wore what resembled to look more like a Zorro mask and wore no cape, but instead swung on a rope. His alter ego Bruce Wayne was influenced by Robert Bruce, who was a Scottish patriot, and Anthony Wayne, who was a United States military general. Bob Kane wanted Batman's true identity to reflect colonialism and naturalism. That's why the name Bruce Wayne was chosen. Kane has said that he drew from such characters as Zorro, The Shadow, and Sherlock Holmes for inspiration in creating The Dark Knight. Batman made his first appearance in a detective comic called The Case of the Chemical Syndicate in May of 1939. After this comic, Batman became a very popular character and received his own title. Over the next couple of months, Kane started to fine-tune his character, and Batman became to resemble more like the image of him we see today. Kane started to draw a more pronounced jawline while adding more length to the ears of the Batman's cowl. In July of 1939, Batman's utility belt was introduced, followed by the first Batman vehicle, the Batplane, in September of 1939, and his origin was revealed in November of 1939. Now that you know a little bit about the history of the creation of Batman, I would now like to tell you the origin of the character himself. Batman's true identity is Bruce Wayne, who is the wealthy eccentric billionaire of Gotham City. Bruce's inspiration to don the cape and cowl came at a very young age. While leaving an opera house with his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, a mugger gunned down Bruce's parents right in front of him. Bob Kane wants Batman's inspiration for fighting crime to come from a very traumatic experience. And according to Bob Kane's book Batman and Me, there's nothing more traumatic than having your parents murdered before your eyes. Batman's character traits are his wealth, physical prowess, and detective abilities. Batman has no superhero powers like many other superheroes, but instead relies on his scientific knowledge, detective skills, and athletic skills. Batman has spent a major portion of his life traveling the world and acquiring skills that he needs to help him in his fight against crime. His knowledge and expertise in every area is said to be unmatched, with his ability to engage in hand-to-hand combat against any other character in the DC Comics universe. His Batsuit also helps in his fight against organized crime and supervillains in Gotham City. His suit is said to contain the properties of both Kevlar and Nomex, and it incorporates the imagery of a bat, to use theatricality and deception to frighten his enemies. The color of Batman's suit has changed throughout the years. In the early years, he was depicted with a gray suit and black cape. Then it changed from a black suit with blue highlights, then a black suit with yellow highlights, and the most current depiction of him shows an all-black suit. Batman uses his wealth to acquire a great deal of equipment, which also helps him in his fight against crime. As his primary mode of transportation, Batman uses the Batmobile. The Batmobile has gone through many different looks over the years, but is mainly depicted as a black car with large tail fins. Batman has other vehicles that include the Batplane and Batcycle. Batman stores his field equipment in his utility belt, which is usually depicted as a gold or yellow belt that contains the bat symbol on its buckle. In the belt, Batman carries various items with him that includes batarangs, his grappling hook, a flashlight, and smoke grenades. Batman keeps all of his vehicles and his equipment in his headquarters located under his house, which he calls the Batcave. The Batcave serves as Bruce's command center for both local and global surveillance. Batman interacts with a strong list of characters, both good and bad, that helps to expand the Batman universe. Commissioner Jim Gordon stands as an ally to Batman in most, if not all depictions as an ally to Batman in most, if not all depictions of the character. Gordon is the police commissioner of Gotham City. He, like Batman, has dedicated his life to eradicating the villainous and corrupt of Gotham City. Gordon fully trusts and is sometimes dependent on Batman to do what needs to be done. In some cases, Gordon is somewhat skeptical of Batman's methods, but often cannot argue with the results. In most cases, Gordon is the one who turns on the bat symbol to summon Batman or to make criminals aware that Batman is out there. Gordon is depicted as a middle-aged man, usually with gray hair. He is tall, thin, with a mustache, and wears glasses. Another one of Batman's allies is his trusted butler, Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred serves as Batman's and Bruce's assistant, confidant, and in many ways his surrogate father. In many depictions, Alfred acts as a comic relief due to his sarcastic comments directed towards Batman and Bruce Wayne. Alfred is an essential part of the Batman mythos and appears in most, if not all, adaptations of Batman. Another major ally of Batman is his sidekick Robin, who is often called the Boy Wonder. The original Robin's secret identity is Dick Grayson, and he was often orphaned after a mafia boss gunned down his family while performing an acrobatic show as the Flying Graysons. Bruce Wayne took the orphan boy in, and Dick showed Bruce promising athletic ability. He was offered a chance to become Batman's sidekick, and Robin was born. A great hero is nothing without a supervillain to combat with, and in Batman's case he has several. Some of the more famous ones include the Joker, who is often known as the Clown Prince of Crime. The Joker is Batman's archenemy and is portrayed as a master criminal. His depiction has varied from a highly intelligent, sadistic psychopath with a warped sense of humor to an eccentric prankster. The Joker has had several origin stories, however, the most common would be him falling into a vat of toxic chemicals, which bleaches his skin, turns his hair green, and his lips a bright red. The character of Batman has made a major impact on most entertainment mediums, but the biggest impact he has made, in my opinion, is on film. He's had several appearances on film that spans generations. In 1966, Batman the Movie was released, which starred Adam West as Batman, Burt Ward as Robin, Cesar Romero as the Joker, and Berger Meredith as the Penguin. This film took a more campy look at the character and was aimed towards small children. However, in 1989, the tone changed from a lighthearted look at Batman to a dark, brooding, more adult version in Tim Burton's Batman. It starred Michael Keaton as the title character, along with Jack Nicholson as the Joker. The movie scored big at the box office, grossing over $410 million. Due to Batman's success, a sequel was made, and in 1992, Batman Returns was released. Returning was Keaton as Batman, while adding Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman and Danny DeVito as the Penguin. With Returns was not as successful as the original, but it did gross over $250 million at the box office. After Returns, Joel Schumacher took over the directorial duties and directed Batman Forever and its sequel, Batman and Robin. These movies returned Batman back to its lighthearted and campy roots and was not well accepted by the character's core fans. In 2005, the Batman series was rebooted, and Christopher Nolan was hired to sit in the director's chair, and Christian Bale was chosen to don the cape and cowl. Together they released Batman Begins, which was the first origin story of Batman ever depicted on screen. The film was a commercial and critical success. Batman Begins is number 81 on Empire Magazine's 250 greatest movies of all time. Due to the success of Batman Begins, Nolan and Bale were allowed to create a trilogy of Batman movies that has become the most definitive depiction of Batman to date. They followed Begins with The Dark Knight, which once again starred Christian Bale as Batman, along with Heath Ledger as a Joker. According to Movie.com, The Dark Knight has grossed over $1 billion, and Heath Ledger received an Academy Award for his haunting portrayal as the Joker. They most recently released The Dark Knight Rises on July 20th, which once again stars Christian Bale as Batman, along with Tom Hardy as the physically imposing Bane and Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. During its first opening week, Rises has received outstanding reviews as the trilogy's conclusion and has grossed over $160 million according to Movies.com. In conclusion, Batman's creation in 1939 by Bob Kane sparked a fantastic comic series, along with great characters that includes Commissioner Gordon, his trusty sidekicks Robin and Alfred, and his arch nemesis the Joker. It has led them to the creation of very successful movies that have made billions of dollars, including, most currently, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy. Thank you.